Hi Pranay, welcome in the kitchen.
Thank you for having me.
So what is your role at Booking.com?
I am a product marketing manager in the accommodations business. So I help our partners associate themselves with and use our different products.
Okay, and so we've been talking about how to find demand, how to change existing bookings. Obviously, COVID-19 posed a lot of new types of questions that guests have. Reassurance about safety, about health. What have you been working on?
Quite a few things actually, GJ. So you're right, the situation of this global pandemic, when it first hit, there were some immediate kind of information needs, both on the guest side and on the partner side.
Yeah.
And the team was very quickly able to kind of get in and analyze what those needs are and try and produce as quickly as possible solutions and innovations that help cater to those needs. So very early on, once bookings started to erode and travel started to die down a little bit, we realized that what travel there was happening was under certain very severe restrictions. Certain governments were saying, placing restrictions on what properties are allowed to do, for instance,
yes.
Or properties themselves were having to curtail certain services, swimming pools, spas, things like that. So very quickly we had to allow properties to express what was going on.
Yes.
So we used an existing part of our platform, which is the fine print section, and we introduced a series of new available phrases that partners can choose from, so that when guests are coming into the system, they're immediately aware and they're making bookings under knowing what conditions they're making the bookings under, so that when they arrive at a property, they know what to expect. So this was something that was immediately done.
So
and catered
March last year, April?
Yeah, something like that. First couple of months of when we started to really see, the global effect of the pandemic on the travel industry.
Yeah.
But later on in the year, then during the summer,
yes.
We were tracking the needs as they were getting more and more complex as well. And besides the urgent restrictions that were being placed, there were also some proactive measures that our partners were taking, right? Sometimes this was also under government programs around the world. Many countries did that.
Yes.
But it was also, for instance, as a part of chains, but even home properties and different types of properties were doing things individually, proactively. So new cleaning protocols had emerged by the summer.
Yeah.
There were new things that they were doing in terms of food safety. Contactless check-in,
exactly.
These kind
yes.
of measures.
I've had these, yes.
Exactly. So we needed to produce a way for partners to be able to express this to guests. So a new feature called the health and safety feature is now live on the platform, where partners can do exactly that. We ask them a series of questions about what they're doing, and that is then displayed very prominently on the property page. Guests, when they're making their booking, they see that section. They hover on it, they see the details of what measures are being taken at the property, and they can be assured, depending on what their needs are, of whether that property meets their needs.
And for partners, they can do this on the extranet, on Pulse, via connectivity solutions?
Right. That's right. So no matter how they engage with Booking.com, they're able to capture this information for our guests to use.
Okay, interesting. So basically, fine print, kind of the first phrases and answers to the rise of the pandemic.
Yep.
Health and safety facilities and features and information.
Yep.
Anything else you found or been working on?
That's right. So with the fine print and health and safety, between those two products, we kind of covered the major, needs that were common across different types of properties and geographies, and but there were still unique things, unique to individual travelers that they wanted to know about. There were things that were unique about a property that guests want to know about. That these two products did not capture. So there's another feature called the guest question and answer feature that we expedited the development of and made it available for guests to be able to find out the additional things about the pandemic, about the safety measures, about things that they wanted to be reassured about directly from partners. So they can ask questions before they've made a booking.
So you just go to Booking, ask a question, and it goes directly to the partner?
It goes directly to the partner. So, and this is the first time on Booking.com we've had such a thing. So they can ask questions, and partners see this question, and they can respond if they wish in private. So if it's a sensitive question, if they don't want that information in the public domain, they can answer directly to the guest. Or by default, it is published on their property page. again, in a very prominent section.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is that other guests can come in and they see that section, see the questions and answers, but they can vote on them.
Wow.
So over a period of time, the property, the individual property, has sort of a crowdsourced FAQ section about the unique things about their property. Between all those things, we believe we've covered all the basic things that were needed during the whole year, but also some of the unique needs for both partners and guests.
And very interesting, by the way, this Q&A feature. So is this being used? Do we see any guests asking questions, partners responding?
Oh yes, we've seen, for all of these features, very, very good adoption both by guests and partners. So for the question and answers, we have over 4 million individually answered questions on the platform from properties around the world.
Yeah.
And interestingly, partners have responded to these questions at a median time of about 3 hours. So
3 hours?
3 hours. They get back to their guests very, very quickly when the guests are asking questions. And this has been very heartening for us to see. Same with health and safety as well.
Yeah.
Now of the millions of possible reservations you can make on Booking.com, a majority are actually covered under some kind of a health and safety measure.
That's
at a
very,
property.
very encouraging. And just my understanding, if I am Dutch,
Yeah.
so if I ask a question in Dutch to a Dutch property responds in Dutch.
Yep.
Can a German guest then read my Q&A with the property?
That's a very pertinent question. Yes, by and large, there's a lot of language coverage, cross-language coverage in the Q&A feature,
Yeah.
but it's very complex and that's still being refined and worked on continually. But yes, there is translations in place.
For the major languages involved?
Yes.
Wow, that's very cool. So it's not only 4 million answers in the same language, but actually people in other language
Can consume that as well.
Wow, thanks a lot for sharing, Pranay.